in the beginning, for sound, we had to use record players. Uh, Tape recorders weren't even out then for the amateur. And then amateurs were able to put sound on film. Well, I couldn't lift those great big projectors, and you had to take your own projector to the meeting if you were going to show a film. So I decided that there was no use in my going into that part of photography, and I would have to use tape.
I was always fascinated by moving pictures. Probably the first movie, something I had seen projected on a sheet or screen, was when I was about 4 years old.
When we were in Greece, or one of the Grecian islands, there was a topless beach there. I never saw a topless beach before in my life. And I was shaking like a leaf because this stuff I have never seen before. Every time I'd aim it at a topless one, I'd get the shakes. So what I did, I says, honey, you stand in front of me. I'll use your shoulder as a tripod.
May I have your attention, please? I'm sorry about last month. I phoned everybody, but some of the numbers I did not have. Henrietta was going to call a few of them, but some of them came down. People I spoke to said they weren't coming anyways, so I decided to cancel the meeting because we did not have enough people. They just didn't want to go up because the sidewalks were slippery. So we canceled it. But if you're in doubt, give me a ring.
Well, I first found out about the Buffalo Cinema Club at the time, that's what it was called, by one of the members, and he told me, why don't you join? He said, you seem to like movies, and I did so. Somewhere around 1962 or 63, I believe that was. When I joined the club, I believe there was close to 60 members. And I do hope that we get a lot more members because I understand there's only about 24 of us now. We'd like to bring it up to about 50 or 60. And would be really nice to have a big membership.
Well, I've been in regular camera clubs for 20 years now, and I learned an awful lot about still cameras, and I thought maybe I could learn more about video cameras. So I joined tonight, and I hope that we do learn from all the members here.
The latest project that I submitted to was my movie that I made, a short movie which lasted approximately a minute. And I'm proud to say I won the little trophy. The next big thing is of having sort of a story, an adventurous story with a little mystery in it.
Hon, it's for you. Where are you? Where are you?
I'm gonna really ham it up. Let me see here. I'm gonna cover it up with a slice of cheese. I'm using my cordless phone too.
We saw an ad in the paper on the in the Buffalo Evening News where the Buffalo Cinema Club was having a meeting out there at the church over there on Washington Highway there in Snyder, and we decided to go there and try it out, and we were really surprised. We were very much interested in it, and from that time on, we haven't missed a meeting. Here it is, 1993. We haven't missed a meeting in the last 21 years. A couple days before, we'll go out and get some goodies for the movie club. But as far as donuts go, you got to get those on the same day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't be fresh because they get hard fast, right? So we try to get them on the very same day that the movie club has their meeting, as far as the donuts go, things like that. So we usually get donuts or Ten-Mint baked goods, brownies, fried cakes of some sort like that. And we have tea, we got coffee, we got cocoa. Some that want milk, well, we get, instead of getting a quart of milk now to go with their coffee, we get a half a gallon of milk for all those that want to drink milk, and if they have a preference of milk, we can give them that. And we even have Sanka coffee for those that don't want any caffeine in their coffee. They can have that. I'll be glad to give them that. At first, I started making travelogues, little family films rather around the house. If there was something, a fire going down the street, I'd go down there and film a fire scene. And then sometimes we'd go out to the park and take family pictures of just picnic shots and things like that. And then years later, about 1964, my wife and I started to travel. And wherever we went, foreign countries, we took pictures of all that. We have a friend that is an undertaker, and he let me use a coffin, because I had to use a coffin scene in my picture where I would look in a mausoleum and I would see my own body lying in an open coffin in the mausoleum. And in order to do that, I had to have a coffin. Right. So what we had to do is get our friend to let us use a coffin. And he really did. I was very surprised. Right in his garage, where he bombs the people.
He laid right in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not very comfortable, that's for darn sure.
They're terrible.
But he did let us use it. And when we took our camel ride out to the Sphinx and the pyramids when we were in Cairo, Egypt, I had to have a shot of me on top of the camel trying to make me say, giddy up to the camel. And since the Arab there couldn't do it, or I got the film back and it wasn't there, to get this close-up shot of me saying giddy up to the camel, we had to go out to the cemetery, and we looked at a certain kind of trees out of the cemetery that would blend in with the trees in Cairo, Egypt there. Because when I made the shot out there at the cemetery, I wanted to make sure that the background was the same as maybe it was in Cairo, Egypt there when we took the camel ride. So we picked out a certain tree or bush that looked like it could match the one in Cairo where the camel ride was. I stood on top of a tombstone, and my wife, Julie here, took the camera, and I says, now, point the camera up at me, make sure you get the little part of that bush because it looks like the same kind of bush that is in Cairo there. And she took a picture of me with my fez on, saying, giddy up, and only shot me maybe from the waist up. And that way there, the people couldn't see I was really standing on a tombstone at Forest Lawn Cemetery. Yeah. If I was years younger, I probably would start video, but right now, I got so much wrapped up in my Super 8 and my movie equipment, my sound equipment. In fact, I even tried once before having sound. I think I had 1 or 2 pictures transferred onto video, and they didn't do a very good job. It's kind of orangey in color. I don't know why, but it's kind of orangey in color.
Our club was named the Buffalo Cinema Club when it was formed in 1934. I joined in 1958, and Bob Schaefer was president that year, and he had been president several times after that. But how many years is that? 58 to 93? It's quite a long time. One of our club members knew how to make tiles. So he ran these tiles through a color bath once for every color. There are 4 colors, so he ran these through 800 times because we had 200 tiles. We gave a tile to every guest at the convention who paid for the whole convention. And they were all used up. So that was more than 200 people at the convention. It was a very nice convention. I originally had belonged to another club, which was formed by someone who was disgruntled with the Buffalo Cinema. But that didn't last too long because that man was involved with, the man who organized it, was involved with selling film. And I objected to his selling film while we were holding the program, which didn't bother him at all. So all of a sudden, most of us decided to leave. And we went over to the Buffalo Cinema Club. Well, I had been helping the former editor of the Camerama for several years. I went over to her house, and I did a lot of the writing at that time too. Then I helped her mail it, she put it together. And that's where I learned how to do it. And then I would help her with the mailing, which is a long-winded job. And so when she became ill and was unable to do it anymore, I took it over part of the time, and then sometimes for a year Bob would take it. But then it came back to me, and so I've been doing the Camerama for several years. I don't think people realize how much time goes into that, how much time I spend in research. I look up all the other conventions and meetings that we might be interested in. That means getting correct dates and prices. I check all of the information that I put in the Camerama so that it should be right. And then I spend hours writing it, more hours typing it, and more hours pasting it, so that I spend probably 2 days every month. And the last one before this, I spent 3 days with the 4 pages. So it does take a lot of time. And it gives me a lot of satisfaction. Sometimes I make a mistake, but not too often. And if I do make a mistake, I'm usually told about it. Years ago, there was a group of men, including my brother-in-law, who went on fishing trips. And Dr. Sleeper of Kenmore had a movie camera, an old Model 75 Bell and Howell. And I loved his pictures of these fishing trips. They were so good, and so the desire came over me to take movies. And one night when I was going to work and I passed the city hall, the sun was setting behind the city hall, and it was so beautifully colored that I said to myself, I've just got to take movies. So for a number of years, I took a lot of sunsets. My sister used to tell people I was an authority on taking sunsets. Prizes don't mean so much to me. Contests don't mean so much to me. Because it's all a matter of personal opinion. It's what you like. If you like travel, that's what you like to see. If you like story films, that's what you want to see. But I like documentaries and travel. See, at one time, in the heyday We were over 100 members. So we've lost a lot of members. But that's the way it is. All clubs are losing members.
What's the name of that?
Channel 7.
Hey,
I don't know why the
incidentally,
color came out like
Last
that.
Sunday I had breakfast with Irv Weinstein.
Did ya?
And, what's his name, the other guy that,
Tom?
no, Jeff Simon.
Oh.
We were talking about the Academy Awards, and they were both way off, believe me, way off.